I don't want you to ever think that I'm a man that's perfect and that never makes mistakes. If anything, I want you to know that I'm fallible and I'm not good enough for the love of God. You see, I want you to know that I sin too, that I make bad decisions that are just not great. But my faith has never been about how good I am. It's always been about how good God is. It's always been about how good Jesus was and is today, that he's the same yesterday, today, and forever, and he's never changed because of circumstance, but rather he focused on God his whole entire life. You see, my whole desire is to point people to Christ, not point people to me, because I know the weakness of this flesh, that I know that I sin. I know that in my heart it's broken and it needs redemption daily. So if you've ever heard about the gospel and you've heard it in a manner that says you must be perfect and you must never make a mistake, I'm so sorry you haven't heard the gospel. The gospel is about a man or woman coming to the end of themselves and believing in Christ because he has redeemed us from all of our sin, past, present, and future. It's never been about how good you and I are. It's always been about how good God is. You see, so often people want to take the credit for themselves and say, I'm a good person, but in reality, no, not one is good. The only one that is good is Jesus. And you see, the only way that we're going to be able to show the world a difference in Christianity is by showing them that we're weak, that we're not perfect. You see, Christ didn't come for the ones that were put together. He came for the broken, the ones that were in need of redemption. So why do we try to go around so often in life saying that I've got it all together when deep down you know you don't? You know that last night you were looking at porn, but now today you're saying I'm just full of life, man. I got no problems in life. But see, we got to stop getting away from, we got to stop preaching this message of inauthentic Christianity that says I'm doing good, I'm doing great. And it's not to say that if you are, don't share it. But I'm so tired of hearing people saying I'm good when you know you ain't good. Just be real. Share that you are hurting. You see, just because you're hurting doesn't mean that God has left you. Just because you're weak right now doesn't mean God has left you. In my weakness, in my hurting, I will glorify the Lord. And sometimes that means I'm going to cry for a week or a month or a year. I just don't want people to think that the gospel means that I'm perfect and that you must be perfect too. It means that I die to the desires of my flesh for the desires of Christ. It means that I live beyond myself, not just for the sanctity or the safety of what I want, but for what he wants. That's the gospel, man. And I know that many people have been preached this gospel that you must be perfect and you can never make a mistake, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The gospel is about coming to the end of yourself and living for someone beyond you. It's saying that, God, I can't do it in my own strength, but I know you did. You did what I couldn't do, and I put my faith and trust in your Son because he is worthy of all praise. He is Lord of lords. He is King of kings. He did what no other man could do, which was live a perfect, sinless life for me and you. And he laid down his rightful place. You see, he was on the throne. And he said, you know what? I'll do it. And he was worthy to lay down his position for you and me. I just pray that this video was an encouragement for you and that you see Christianity differently. You don't see it about this rule book, about getting it all right. But you see it as coming to the end of yourself and living for Christ.